questions about me, I know. I just take my time.
Welcome to another episode of PGP Podcast. You already know it's Annajaayy over here, and cute and calm and collective as per usual. No, type ish. Like, don't ever not make normalized society phrases limit your mind. And that is something that everybody needs to know that. Like,
yo, dream big about what? Big butts?
Dream about your mama.
Take your seats.
Yo, teacher. Shamika's feeling sick today. Yeah, sick of damn teachers.
to know that. Like, do not let your self-limiting programming distort what's ahead of you. Erase that shit. Flush your mind. Listen to R28 frequencies and reboot your mind, reboot your DNA. Like, get something together. You feel me? For those who are meant to feel me, they will feel me, and that's all that matters. For an example, George Washington, not the Washington that was the late president in the States. This is a whole different George Washington that I didn't even know exists until not today's years old, but more recent than later. Like, George Washington Carver from 1861 to 1943, born a slave in 1961, invented crop rotations and more than 300 uses for the peanut, including cooking oil, cosmetics. Like, what? His work literally founded modern day farming. Modern day farming came from a black man called George Washington Carver. I'm not sure on the pronunciation, but I'm also not gonna stress about that shit either.
Next we have Louise Latamia. Don't know if that's right, but he created the light bulb.
Lights that all the people in this world need today, that are using today, the concept of lights. How many of y'all even knew that Garrett Augustus invented traffic lights and gas masks that are used in wars and ish? A black man did that. Do you see how the brain has the capacity to do so many things? Like, okay, yeah, that was his talent, that was his gift, that was his way out. You feel me? That was his God-given, whatever. But everyone has their own. To each their own. God knows what the each is. Like, you know what I mean? He was one of the most successful inventors. Meaning, that's not the only thing that he invented, but he was the most successful inventor. And he happened to be black, and we happen to be using traffic lights up to this day. People all giving red tickets, making money off the black people's inventions. So, and now if you go and check who's in charge of all of these things, I'd be surprised if it was a black person, to be honest, because I don't know, but I'd be surprised. Like James E. West, inventor of the first what is it? I don't think it was electric, it was electric, there we go, electric microphone inventor. What? He was a co-inventor though, but still, like, 8 down. Speaking of mics, what about the music in those times, the musical impact during the civil rights movements, and how music helped people back in the day? Like, why were we not taught that in school? I don't understand.
Well, if they focused on the musical impact, people would actually take in the importance of sound and music and the impact it has on our moods and energies and frequencies and how we reflect those in our emotions. Just like
What's happening to me? In the dark, can you tell me what it means?
And then they want to have talent shows and school dances and Valentine dances and anything that has nothing to do with anything that they need to know. You're just setting up the youth actually to just, I'm not saying take them out because those are fun, I enjoyed them when I was a kid, but at the same time, like, y'all are just shaping the kids to be excited about going to clubs. Like, what? And when they grow up, it's a scam, because people in the club, especially in Canada, they don't even be turning up for real. Like, they don't even be turning up. They be standing up on a corner on a wall with their drink sippy and watching all the people that are dancing. Came here to pay. Leave your house to stand up, drink, and watch people. Bro, you could have done that from your house, bro. You could have done that from your house. Like, clubs and events and stuff, people should be dancing. Not just the dancers. You should be enjoying yourself and living your best life. Like, the fuck? Who cares? Oh, okay, no. We live in a time, though, people are self-conscious about being on the internet, bro. Anyways, back on topic. During those hard times, like, you guys thought like nothing else existed other than like them fighting for the rights. Like, they had other things going on, like, for purpose of importance. Music was used for purpose of importance during the civil rights movements and back in the day when we didn't have much say.
People got music.
Let me show you how powerful music actually is, though. For an example, back then it served as a vital communication lane, atmosphere, everything for building community back in those times. Like, they had to build their community somehow. People were doing like braids in their hair to get free and shit. People were doing like all these scheming and undercover things to get where they needed to be back in then. So you felt music wasn't going to be a part of that. They built communities through music, through jazz, gospel, spiritual songs, folk music, and so on. I'm pretty sure there's genres that maybe I left out. I'm not Google. But my point was, it's musical goddess of the six, baby. I can't ignore the black history, the musical black history. I'm not gonna do that, okay? And I hope this generation is able to spread the word. Like, fix up the curriculum a little bit, enhance it, get the light workers and the people that actually care for the well-being of the generations to come and that we're raising up currently in the school boards. We need to push for the people that actually care for the youth and not the ones that are meant to destroy the youth. The evidence of civil rights music impacting music in modern day through artists like Bob Marley, Lauryn Hill, Kendrick Lamar, etc., etc., etc. We already know why in Google, babies. For an example, Redemption Song, 1981. That line that I mentioned earlier, yeah, that was the one. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. And that is a fact. Because he's literally telling us, wake up, Emma, wake up, wake up, wake up. Anyways.
I don't know why I just did that. Oh.
Anyways, I really don't care. Who else? Lauryn Hill, Black Rage. 2014, actually, that came out. And she talks about traces of her black roots and black people and their black rage through America's history and the tragedies and whatnot. Another thing being the web of oppression, I rebuke you in Jesus' name. Who is attacking my throat chakra? Fire to you, haya, fire to you, I rebuke you in Jesus' mighty name. Holy Ghost fire back to sender. This is my throat chakra. I take charge over it. I take authority of this vessel, and that's just what it is. Fuck out of here. She also examines ongoing systematic oppression that continues to define black experiences for far too many people in this day and age.
Race founded on blatant denial, sweet economics, subsistence survival, deafening silence and social control. Black rage is founded on wounds in the soul.
Especially because we've been having Black Lives Matter marches and whatnot, which obviously shows like it's a thing. But why does it go silent so quickly? Why are we silent so quickly? Why do we allow ourselves to be silenced as a community, as a culture, as a race? Because no other culture goes out like that. They ain't going out like no sucker. Why should we go out like suckers? Because we're not. We're the furthest thing from it. People that can recognize that is us. It literally starts with us. So if we start to make movement now, people are gonna catch on.
Oh, the game in trouble. Started out small, now they paying me double. Yeah, you can drip chip, baby.
I'm gonna catch on because it's a follow the leader team. I'm not trying to be no political or rights leader or none of that. I'm just saying, this is just how I think, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that thinks like that. And I've heard that there's other people that don't think like that because I've had conversations with people that gladly agree. But are they doing something though? Absolutely not. So math, if we wanted to math. I'm still laughing at that shit that I just did. Not the wake up. Kendrick Lamar, for those who are familiar. All right, we're gonna be all right. 2015, even though it was more of a personal experience type of song, he was still touching upon us for certain things. So, Black Lives Matter protest nationwide. Simple phrase: we gonna be all right, because it's a chant and a feeling. Like the simple chant of "we gonna be all right" is what actually gave hope and feeling to the people during Black Lives Matter's protest nationwide when that was going on. What are we waiting for? Another tragedy to happen to an innocent black man or woman? For us to just stir up this anger, suppressed anger, and come together like
London, Sydney, Seoul, Tunis. The outrage over the death of George Floyd is global. Defying lockdown measures or foregoing government advice, still they came in their hundreds of thousands, calling for an end to police brutality and institutional racism. In London, tens of thousands amassed despite the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. Most protesters brought masks, and some were provided for those who didn't.
It's been our grandfather's fight, it's been our father's fight. We don't want it to be our children's fight, and that's why we want to make sure they're a part of this as well.
Riots are not the case. Protesting only helps if there is follow-up action. What's the follow-up action? Nothing. You never hear any follow-up action. You just hear people go silent after running up a stink. Usually justice isn't even really served right, if at all, and they're back at square one and they do this thing all over again and they do this all over again. But you guys are here chanting, wanting to come together when something happens to one of us, but you guys don't even care about us if it's not brought to the attention of the media. Like, imagine if every colored person came together and been like, this is what we gotta do, and everyone takes and follows the actions needed to get to what we gotta do and get to where we need to be based on what we gotta do. So food for thought, because where are my divine people at? Well, where are my divine people at? Yes, I'm a passionate human being, so I'm going to speak with passion. And when I like it, bite it, please. Portrait mode today because, yeah, that's what we had to do. We just had to do that, and I just wanted to. Okay, so I got a little intel here. So, All Right is one of 3 times on the album he references the 40 acres and the mule that formerly slaves were promised after the Civil War ended, but they didn't receive that.
I'd imagine being promised a new life with 40 acres and a mule. But the real origin of this promise, it's a tale worth telling. The famous promise of 40 acres and a mule is often attributed to Union General William T. Sherman. But here's the twist. Sherman only promised the land. The mule came later. This radical idea wasn't just Sherman's doing. It was born from an unprecedented meeting on January 12, 1865, between Sherman, Secretary of War Edwin M. Stanton, and 20 black leaders in Savannah, Georgia. These leaders, mostly ministers, sought land for self-sufficiency. Sherman listened, and 4 days later issued Special Field Order Number 15. The order reserved 400,000 acres for newly freed slaves. It was a historic step towards land redistribution and black self-governance. Yet this visionary program was short-lived. President Andrew Johnson overturned it, returning land to former Confederate owners. The dream, I'd imagine...
like 2015. Still valid. Here we see that the influence of music and how it generates movement in various aspects, which we barely see today unless something happens, as I was speaking about. And what else was my note say? Even they were telling people back in the day, even Martin Luther was telling people back in the day the impact of music. But all y'all wanted to hear was, I had a dream. What about the freedom songs are playing a strong and vital role in our struggles? Martin Luther King Jr. says, during the Albany movement, they give the people new courage and a sense of unity. What was I saying, though? Let me get myself together. Like, what was I saying, though? Because, yeah, and to answer the question, should black people get more love? This is the way I'm talking about. Focusing on the more positive aspects and the more uplifting, the information that was left out. Like, we hear about the struggles all the time. What about the inspirational stuff? What about the stuff that inspired us to grow, our people to grow, that helped us elevate to a certain extent? Whoever wanted to stay behind and get stuck in a certain level, that's your business, and that goes for everybody. So, yes, black culture should get more love in that sense, especially in February. And if you don't like what I have to say about black people receiving more love, or black people should receive more love during the month of February, go cry to your mama. I'm not your mama. Oh, you happy. Just take it up with Jesus, because I really don't have anything else to tell you. But on that note, yes, black culture should get more love during the month of love, and it shouldn't just be pushed off to the side. I do want to search up why they chose February out of all months to I want to know why they chose February for Black History Month, because why February? Let me see this answer. What in the connection? What in the Google search? That's not Google searching? Okay. Educational systems need to do better, because now we have a whole bunch of adult people with inner childhood questions. Like, the fuck? The kids should know, but the adults should also know. Like, I don't know, like the lack of knowledge is the downfall of our people. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it 1,000. On that cute note, it's about time to wrap it up. I'm happy you guys joined me today. I'm happy I'm doing this a little bit differently. I love this aspect. Maybe I probably don't like how this portrait mode will show on YouTube, but that's just too bad, because it's how y'all gonna get it today. But for next time on PGP Podcast, talking out loud with Annajaayy. Oh, me clapping. Actually clap when I talk sometimes. It's not ghetto. It's a very Caribbean. Educational system should do better in the teaching curriculum overall, because there's so many loopholes in that, but that's just a whole different conversation. And yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But if it's not the educational system doing it, the media will. Some other person will. So yeah, and however that comes apart, that's really between them and God and their vision. All I'm saying is that I feel like we should teach the youth in a bundle. Teach the youth to be inspired, get the creative juices going. Imagine limiting yourself today. When you look back on your ancestors' oppressions and stuff and seeing, look how much they accomplished, and they had less than we all have right now, which is what's crazy. So like, if you have a vision and you gave up on that shit, then you have nobody to blame but yourself, regardless of your circumstances, and that's just on period. Thank you for joining me on another episode of PGP Podcast. And that's it. And I'm about to wrap it up. Happy.
Until next time, I'm thinking out loud with Annajaayy on PGP. Thank you for joining me. This was so cute. See? And yeah, I'm on, baby.
August diesel. Tell her bitch to take a breather. Only fucking with sativa. Rolling up, got what you need, just deep freezer. Money man, fuck you, pay me. I just want the money man. 100 band. Can I rest roll on the rubber bands? I got my payments in full. I'm acting cool, but I wanna bet full.
Yeah, because new music on the way. You already know what time it is. New music is always on the way. So if you think there's no music coming, You're discombobulated. Bye.